Imagine a day. Imagine a way where you could see the world through my eyes, and I could see the world through yours. I was a 21 undergraduate. I've been up late at night the night before writing my dissertation and drinking a lot of coffee. I reached down to pick up my TV remote and I felt my foot sinking into the ground. Glancing down, I saw that my leg was plunging into the carpet. It's all about how you see things, literally. The differences in how the brain processes sensory information, or how a momentary short circuit in the brain can cause a whole new way of viewing reality. Imagine a day. Imagine a way where you could feel what it's like to be me, and I could feel what it's like to be you. Perceptual diseases are widely undocumented in our society. Those with suffering from these diseases, such as Alice in Wonderland syndrome, are extremely overlooked. They're dismissed and they're brought into thinking that they're crazy or insane, when in fact they're not. It's more common than many people would assume. If 20 to 30% of our population is experiencing spatial distortions, and if everyone has had a sense of Alice in Wonderland syndrome, then why are we not talking about it? From the articles, I have AIWS by New York Times. I had Alice in Wonderland syndrome by The Guardian, and Seeing the World through Alice in Wonderland syndrome by LitHub, including the poetry's Crosswire Song and Fireworks in Your Mind by Carrie Horner, a program. Down the rabbit hole. Because we cannot continue to let these people fall into the lie that they are crazy. I was in the kitchen talking to my friend. I was hugely animated and full of energy and just bursting with ideas. And then quite calmly, I had to explain to my friend that half of her face had just disappeared. And then looking around me, I saw that bits of the world were missing too. It was like looking at this faulty digital TV that had clumps of pixels blinking out. Soon she fell asleep, and I ran straight to my computer. And it only took minutes before I actually found that there was a name for what I was experiencing. Alice in the Wonderland syndrome. Alice in Wonderland syndrome is a set of symptoms including the alteration of body image, the alteration of perceptual vision. It makes the sufferer feel as though their body is changing or that sizes of objects are changing. Other symptoms include the feeling that time is moving too quickly or too slowly. It's most common in children, but there is no cause to be known. There is no treatment for AIWS other than looking for an underlying cause that can be treated. I will never not be crazy hooked up with a different wire. I don't run electrically. No switch on this wildfire. It wasn't long, however, before I started experiencing more and more spatial distortions. Floors either curved or dipped, and walking felt as though I was staggering on sponges. Laying in bed, it seemed as though my hand would stretch off miles in the distance. Instead of going away, my symptoms got worse. Everything was distorted all the time now. Walking down the road, parked cars seemed the size of corgi models, while I'd feel disproportionately tall. Sitting in my chair at work, it felt enormous, while I seemed to have shrunk. Soon I found it a struggle to leave the house. I had difficulty correctly perceiving the ground, so walking was tricky. I found myself slumped and struggling to walk. Crossing the road was dangerous because I never knew how big a car was or how far away it was. By now, I was wondering what on earth is wrong with me. An MRI scan proved nothing. Neither did my doctor, nor my neurologist, nor could any of them find an actual medical record for what I was experiencing. The prevailing message was that I just have to live with it. Because there is an element of hallucination, many sufferers don't seek medical help for fear of being diagnosed with a psychiatric condition, which it's not. If I could swap with you, I would. If knowing for once I could just hear silence. Noise and lights flicker in your mind and they merge and intertwine and you feel as though they might just explode. Many suffer from a much more serious misidentification syndrome, where their interpretation of what's happening around them is skewed. These events take form of depersonalization, derealization, deja vu, jamais vu, or places and people that you've known for years appear as though you've never seen them before. Or I will never not be different. I'm an earthquake in a storm. When I finally get to heaven, I know there's a place for me. God will wipe the dirt away and say better things were meant for me. The human race called me last place and judged I was unfit to run. It's a system near perfected to deem different defective. One size does not fit all. According to Dr. Aorta's 2008 report, electrical activity causes abnormal brain flow to the parts of the brain that control vision, process, texture, shape, and size. Yeah. I'm far from alone. It's estimated that 10 to 20% of the population have had at least one episode of AIWS, most often in childhood, but it tends to go largely unreported because although disorienting and in sometimes causing temporary blindness, it's a harmless condition with no lasting effects. For the best part of a decade, I was unable to enjoy the kind of personal life I wanted. I like going out at least once a week to socialize and relax, but my symptoms made these nights out more painful than enjoyable. In conversation, I would become terrified with an overload of odd perceptions that would just make me seize up and stop talking altogether. Undoubtedly, the syndrome has made my life indefinitely more challenging. The noises and lights, the chaos intertwined which ignites the fireworks in your mind. Broken glass and oil slicks are diamonds if you let them be. A mother looks into her baby's eyes. Prays he won't end up like me.